Okay, woodworkers, I am getting ready to make a book. No, we're gonna have to do a retake, like, already. Already I have a blooper reel. Workers, I'm getting ready to glue up a lift top bench. This one's about 22 inches deep, about 8 foot long. This will be the top of it. This is 6/4 alder, and I'm gonna run through the process of gluing it up. I've seen some things out there on the internet that are just crazy. I mean, you do it however you want, but I'll do it my way, and then you guys can just pick it apart and critique it, I guess. So let me see if I can do this quick and simple. And this is like a small shop version. I mean, there are machines that will glue these up. I don't own one, but this is how I do it. Here we go. So I'm using 1/2 inch pipe clamps. The wood has already been straight lined and ripped. You want clean, nice, smooth edges. The better the edge on that material is, the better that it is going to glue up. The glue is not made for filling voids. It's not wood filler. So it's just a thin line of glue is all you're going to end up getting. I'm going to go ahead and place these in the way that I want them, the best I can. I want this wide one in the middle. That doesn't look bad. This is 6/4 clear alder. I'll try this. Move that one to the center. And yes, alder has knots in it. We just do the best we can. Alright, so I want my clamps spaced right. I want my boards laying right. I'm going to figure all this out before I start gluing. That looks pretty good. Looks pretty clear. These spaced out. I want to end up with about, I don't know, a foot between clamps. I'm gonna run some on the bottom, some on the top. That helps keep from bowing your board. It stabilizes it. If you put all these just on the bottom, your board's gonna bow. Your pipes are gonna bend. All right, so now we're gonna get the grain right. You want your grain alternating. You want the circles in your grain. You want to flip them. Because this will move, it will cup. You can't stop it. It's wood. So down, down, up, down, up. All right. So I want to go. I do a U and a D, down and up. That's just the way my cups are in that material. You want to alternate them. I'm going to end up flipping. I like this one how it is. I'm going to flip this one over. So now I'm down, up. This one needs to be down. It takes a minute. All right. This one will have, this will be down. So I'm gonna flip this one. I could have, and then this will be up, and this one needs to flip. And I want my knot close. Alright. Down, up, down, up, down. I'm talking about the curves, the curved grain in the end of that material, the way the tree ring. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Everything looks good. Like I say, this is about 22 by 90, I don't know, 90, 91, what I got. You want to be bigger than your finished piece, of course. I think I needed a piece that's 88, so I'm at 91. Gives me a little bit to cut off. This is 6/4. I'm gonna plane it down. I'm gonna finish it out to about 1.25 inches. So you want to start thicker so you can work your way down to what you want. If you don't start with 3/4 material to give yourself a 3/4 top, it's not how it works. Not for me. Maybe somebody give me a tip. So I'm going to mark this. That's what I want to see when I'm done. It's ready to glue up. Don't skimp on the glue if you can help it. I use good glue. You can probably see it. I'm not an advertiser, but I've got some glue right down there. And I go ahead and spend a little extra because I do not want this stuff falling apart. I only want to build it once. So here we go, fellas. This is how I do it. If you got a better idea, you're more than welcome to give it to me. They sell all kinds of tricks and glue bottles and goofy things. I'm not a big, I'm goofy myself. I'm goofy, I don't use goofy equipment. And I try and keep this off of my clothes. Now you've got about, I always say 7 minutes. So my job is to get this down and clamped up quickly. I don't have time to mess around. I'm not gonna take a phone call. I hope my phone doesn't ring while I'm videoing. But if it does, it does. It's just a paint roller, pretty simple. That's a trim kit type. You're gonna end up throwing the thing away eventually. I do rinse them out and reuse them if I can, because you can use it a few times. I'm pretty tight. All right, looks good. You want an even spread of glue. You don't want any dry spots. The trick is not, if you don't have any dry spots, then the glue will wick, or what do you call it, capillary action. If you have a dry spot, it's liable to stay dry when you put the pressure on it. So we want to avoid any dry spots. You want to avoid any debris and sawdust. You want them clean. Alright, so this is what I'm doing, and I'm making my X line up. Alright, I'm going to do it again. See, this time, yeah, and I hope they don't fall on me, but they might. This is what I have, this is how I deal with it. This is exact, there's no other trick. This is exactly how I do it. So if it falls off of there, great. I'll put it back up. My goal is not to get glue on my shirt. That's my only goal. Well, make a good piece. See, these are sliding, so you gotta be quick. Hopefully I can do this after I video it. We'll know if I'm doing it in 7 minutes or not, because that's what I think in my head. I think the bottle said 3 to 5. Now it does quit drying out so fast once you get them stuck together. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Like here's a little, up there, it disappeared. There's a little splinter. I don't want anything to hold that glue, those edges apart. Hopefully you'll learn something. Or hopefully you'll teach me a better way of doing it. Looking good, looking good. I gotta flip this one up here. Yes, it's wider. My planer isn't big enough to plane this whole board down. So I'm going to end up ripping it in half and planing it and putting it back together. And I'll flip that grain on that wide board when I do it. The smaller the pieces you're putting together, the more stable your top will be. It won't cup and bow as bad. It'll still cup and bow, but it's going to be in smaller, I guess you could say, increments or smaller pieces. When you have a smaller piece cupping, it's not as noticeable. When you have a 1x12 and you lay it out and you watch it cup, it's obvious. Everything's glued up. Let's go. All right, that takes the longest. Now, it is called woodworking. You're not just going to magically get this thing flat. You got to work with it. You don't just get to run down through here and tighten all your clamps up. You can, if you're going to plane it down to 1/4 of an inch. All right, so what I want this flat when I tighten up my clamp. And I'll show you how I do that as I go. I've taken a flat board, put a piece of laminate on there because glue doesn't stick to laminate very well, so I can clean it up and reuse it. What I'm going to do, I'm putting down pressure on that to try and line this up. And then I'm checking it. As I go, there's going to be some tricks. All right, I'm feeling all that. That feels pretty flat. I am going to run it through the planer, so I have a little bit of lenience. Now I'm going to come and I'm going to put a clamp here. Center it up, straight across, and I'm going to check my, okay, I need to push. Some of this wood works really easy with you, and some of it does not. Looks like this one's not too bad, because I've got a big bow in them. I'll go down to the other end and get it, work it out. But that's pushing down pretty nice. That's not, I don't like that one, so I'm going to pick up here and see if I can tighten that. See how I'm working it? I'm going to work it just one joint at a time. That's better. Not perfect, but it's better. Need a clamp there. Check all these joints. I need to push down here. I need to pull up on that one. I just check them at the clamps because it doesn't do any good to do anything else. And I'm trying, yeah, I'm moving along. I'm trying not to stop. This is not a good time to take a break. And you want to see that glue squish up out through there. If you don't have glue coming up, I think it's too dry. All right, big giant, there's a bow in this board. I've worked it out to the end. Now it's going to get difficult, but I think we can get close. See how that, push that down? I'm going to work it. Yeah, it's fun. Fun, fun, fun. Ooh, I'm close. I'm really close. Not bad. Not perfect, but not bad. As you tighten this up, they start sticking together. And it doesn't take, it takes pretty good pressure, but don't bend your clamps. If you're bending your clamps and you're bending your pipe, you're using too much force. You can do it with, well, I can do it with hand pressure. Not everybody can. All right. I'm about a 1/16 up there. I try, if I can keep, sometimes I don't use a hammer because it's just loud. Sometimes you can take that and move them a little, just like that. I'm going to check all my handles. If I can't turn them, they're good. But I'm not cranking on them because you'll just bend them. Look at there. All right, I got good glue squish. I don't know how long that took me. Hopefully less than 10 minutes. I know it didn't go dry. Look at all that glue. I'm going to recover a lot of this. I know. What? What's he doing? Well, this is how I've done it. This is what happens when you're a tightwad. Plus, you don't have to scrape as hard to get all this glue off when it dries. 24 hours. I'll leave this clamped up overnight. I won't machine it till tomorrow. That's all there is to it. I don't know what you guys think. I've seen terrible clamping procedures. I've seen clamping machines, which are awesome, by the way, but I can't afford them. But this isn't a bad way for a small shop to do it. Now what I'm going to do, look at all, see I recovered a lot of glue. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to clean the other side. I use a piece of white melamine. Yeah, this is a 4x8 table. I use a piece of white melamine because that glue will just pop right off of there. I use this for assembly, whatever. Once it dries, it will pop right off of there. And then the better you get your joint, the flatter you get this joint, and that's pretty flat, the glue comes right off of it. Now I'm gonna, before I'm done off this table, I'm gonna fill all my knot holes, because this is supposed to be clear alder, not rustic. It's hard to get good clear alder. I don't know that it grows that way. I've never seen it just, there's very few boards are perfectly clear. There's always a knot in alder. But it does get a lot worse than this. So what I'm going to do next, guys, to get this flat, I'll see if I may try and video the finish of this product. But what I'm going to do next, tomorrow I'll come back and I'll rip it in this wide piece. I'll run it through my planer and get it nice and flat, almost finished. And then I'll biscuit this back together, and then I've only got one seam to clean up because my planer is only 20 inch. This is a 22¼ inch board. If you have any questions, if I didn't cover anything, if you have some wonderful advice, be sure and post it. I'll put this on YouTube. That's done, ready to dry. I have another one sitting right down there I just did. And this is how I do all of them. I'm using some wood filler. I'm going to fill these up because it takes them, if they're big and deep, you got to fill them a couple times. And it takes all day to dry if they're big and deep. May even take longer than that. So I start now, and then in a day or two, they'll be in good shape. Because you don't want to fill them last or you'll be waiting on them. So the little ones are no big deal. That's it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it helps you out. I may try some more. If you want to see some more, let me know. I kind of enjoy making the videos. I'm pretty boring. I'm using my phone, so I don't really care how. If we get much better, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not a professional YouTuber. Oh, it's heavy! Holy cow! Now, what I'll do after I get done here, I'll clean up my glue. I will take my roller and wash it out the best I can, and I might be able to reuse it. If not, I toss it. There's just no other way of doing this. And yes, you need to work that filler down in there. Push it as far in that hole as you can get it. Okay, this is going to look very, very nice. This works for whatever, any kind of glue up. Got any advice, let me know. I would love to see it. I don't handle criticism well, so don't criticize. That's it. Thanks for watching. Hope it helps you out. I'll leave it set for at least 12 hours, and we'll see if we can finish up